Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you another session of Crota's A Look Behind the Numbers, this time taking a look at Protoss and gas in particular. Protoss and gas, a lot of you guys were wondering or wanting to know just the basic numbers on gas. So I'll do a quick recap on how this spreadsheet is laid out and then take a look straight into the numbers. Now, the basic numbers that you really want to be looking at are these two numbers, are these two sets of numbers here. As you can notice, I do not have any units that do not require any gas. So zealots have been taken off this list. You can obviously build a lot of zealots even if you have zero gas production, because zealots don't cost any gas. Now, max production means that at any given time, the most sentries that you can have queued up is 1.68. Or, essentially 2. So if you double train sentries off of one base, you will quickly find that you are running out of gas. If you are training sentries off of, if you're only training one sentry at a time, you will find that you have a little bit of extra gas. So taking a look at these numbers here, you can see that you will be able to figure out your percentage based solely off of percentages, how many stalkers and how many sentries you can build at a time. So if you had an infinite amount of minerals and are just limited on one base gas, that essentially means you can build one sentry, and perhaps I believe the number comes out to be about 2 stalkers in order, or I think it's 3 stalkers actually, yeah, 3 stalkers, and continue that production almost infinitely, as the amount of gas that you are bringing in is the same amount of gas that you are using. So that's one of the strong reasons why sentry stalkers can be used early in the game. Also, same thing with zealot sentry, as sentries only cost 50 minerals and zealots are on the expensive end at 100. Now, taking a look at the High Templars, Dark Templars, and all the other numbers, and then taking everything into consideration, what you're going to notice most about the Protoss is that they have a wide flexibility in terms of how to use their gas. A double-edged sword for the Protoss is that their units take a little bit longer to build, but are stronger than, say, their Terran or Zerg counterparts. They generally are beefier, deal a little bit more damage, have a stronger meteor sense to them, so that they're able to withstand punishment a little bit more. But that's usually offset by a higher build time. Because of that higher build time, it allows you to harvest more gas and continue production much more easily. If you take a look at this chart, one of the key things that I noticed is that you can train one Void Ray and one Immortal at the same time and continue that production. A Void Ray Immortal with Zealots and perhaps an early sentry that you trained earlier was recently featured in one of the builds, or in a build that was used against me. I think it was me against Boom on Steps of War. Because of this chart, you can see even behind the numbers, and then in practice, Void Rays and Immortals can be trained at the same time as long as you do not chrono boost those buildings. So this is one of those instances where if you knew the numbers and you know the ideology behind these numbers, you actually do not want to chrono boost your Stargate and your robotics facility in order to train these units faster, unless you're ready to move out and you're like, okay, I just want to get these units out as quickly as possible, and then I'm going to go attack my opponent. So if you're just constantly macroing, knowing this chart, especially for Protoss, will help you tremendously in knowing when to chrono boost, and perhaps when to chrono boost your gateways or your warp gates to try to produce additional zealots by reducing that cooldown time, or even chrono boosting, say, your research. Every chrono boost, as long as you let it go to its full duration, takes off 10 units of time in its production. So being able to chrono boost, say, your forge, which normally cost about 160 units of time in order to do a level 1's weapon upgrade, you can get it down to 130 units of time with 3 to 4 chrono boosts. So that's always something to very important and to look forward to. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys got a lot out of this chart for Protoss. And just remember that Protoss has a lot of flexibility in terms of your units. And if you want to be able to produce more units, obviously more gas units, you will obviously need to take another base, get additional gas, and in order to train those units. Thanks for watching.